Yes, all well.
Have you had any sickness during the voyage?
No, sir.
Morgan. Welcome to England. Ich darf euch fragen ein paar Fragen. Just explaining to these people that I have to ask them a few questions on behalf of the Port of Trade.
Yes. Do you find that on the whole they answer your questions fairly readily?
Oh yes, there's very little reticence. This is mainly due to the fact that some of the Jewish community over here have had articles published in the Jewish newspapers in Russia and Germany explaining what the procedure is for immigrants. Margolis, Hannah. Morgan, do you speak English?
Ik versta niet geen woord. Wat gevoel ik?
She quite clearly doesn't speak English.
No, indeed.
Wie veel geld had je?
Niet geen zag.
Laat me zien. Wijst.
Do the immigrants often object to showing you their means?
Oh, just occasionally they do, but this is a 10-ruble note.
Oh, yes.
But if they do, I usually ask them to wait over there, and then I deal with the others. And by that time, usually the little crowd over there have remembered that they've got some money.
I'm sure, yes.
This is what 1.25 rubles, 11.25.
De man is in Amerika. Ik kom hem bij kijken.
Je fått in Amerika?
Ja, New York.
Wo is de billet? Oh, these are quite interesting. Look, you see here that this is a ticket from Hamburg to London.
Yes.
But this, on the other side, is only a voucher. It's not a ticket from London to New York.
Yes.
And you can exchange it at this gentleman here, Mr. Block of Watcher. Das ist nicht kein Billett, das ist a voucher.
Was ist das, ein Voucher? Ich fahre in New York.
Voucher.
Wie wennen wir? Wer ist
Viele von meiner Jugend mit Schulgener.
Antworten auf die Frage.
Ich will den Mann meinen. Was dreht er mit dem Kopf?
Ihr seid hier?
Nein, Agoi.
Ihr redet Mamelusch.
A bisschen.
What did he say?
Oh, he asked me whether I was of the Jewish faith, as I speak a little Yiddish.
Are you Jewish?
No, I'm Presbyterian.
Zoals.
Wat voor dat soort?
Met een billet in Amerika.
Amerika met een billet bij meer. Dat is niet geen billet. Dat is een voucher.
Ja, dat weet je niet.
Je moet gaan zu agent.
Agent, ja.
In Bloch, Whitechapel. Je gaat hem dus en hij gaat eigenlijk den billet.
Was een schikaier.
Waarom gaat het nou heen met een goeiem? Hamontse leggen min georet. Amen. Zit. Zet ze erbij.
Dan het komt door die eet.
In Polen. Lodge. Een ding?
Me, I'm an Englishman. I was born here.
Englishman.
Yeah. Yeah, I always come into the shelter and talk to people and make them feel at home. You know, they come from a long journey already. They want someone to talk to. My name's Janko.
Oh, Putyevsky. Moishe Putyevsky.
They call me Kleiner Janko.
Oh, Kleine Janko.
I'm so tall. How much money you got?
I've got nothing here. I mean, I've got a few rubles left, that's all, some life marks, nothing.
Listen, rubles are not going to do you any good. I mean, you can't go into a shop and pay with rubles.
Was je dollar, yeah?
Dollars? It's not America. Here is pounds, shillings and pence.
Pound? What's the pounds?
You don't understand? 20 of the shillings to a pound, and then with the pennies, there are 12 of the pennies to a shilling, and 240 of the pennies to a pound. Then you've got the halfpennies. There are 2 halfpennies to a penny, yeah? And the farthings, you got 4 farthings to a penny, and 2 farthings to a halfpenny.
Misha gas here.
Believe me, it is. I mean, it's complicated to understand.
Well, what can you buy with that? What's it worth? These 2 pounds, these things are shillings.
Can I be of some assistance?
My name is White, Arnold White. I'm looking for a Mr. Somper.
You found him. I'm Mr. Somper.
Oh, good. That is good news. How do you do? My name is, as I say, White, and your name has been given to me by the Jewish Board of Guardians.
What's it like here?
Yeah. Lodge. That's what it's like.
Lodge? You from Lodge?
Sure, I'm from Lodge.
So am I. You're a landsman.
You know, I'd never have guessed.
Huh. Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem Shalom.
Putyevsky, Moishe.
Kravitz.
Was het dan meluche?
Schnade.
Taylor.
Indeed.
Ik ben een baker. My family have a bakery in the Heim.
It's a good job.
Did you get many here?
Here, you get everything. 3 days ago, we had a mashigana, an acrobat. Never kept still for 1 minute or an hour. So why'd you come here? Why didn't you stay at home with your family and business?
Listen, it wasn't my business, my tata's. I've got an elder brother, you know. Well, I'm not going to inherit anything, am I? Anyway, listen, they wanted me in the army. Who wants to die for the Tsar? I thought I had a ticket to America. I come here, they're telling me now it's a voucher or something, not a ticket. Anyway, I'll find out more tomorrow. I met somebody, funny little Heverman, and he's going to help me. Take me to the agent and change some money for me, everything. He'll be a good man. Funny.
So he's going to change your money for you?
Well, he said he'd help me.
I get no sugar. So do you have much money?
So, listen, after the journey, a few rubles, that's all.
And what's he going to give you for those few rubles?
He said for a pound note, yeah, I'd have to give 12, 13 rubles. Is that good?
It's an offer.
You working?
I should be here if I was working. You're not allowed to stay here if you got a job.
Is there work around? Is there much?
Sure, there's work. You want a schlap? There's work. People go to a place called the Chazamark.
Chazamark?
Sure.
Pigs? Pig market?
They're human beings. Work is very difficult to get. People, they sort of herd into one place and hope that a boss will come around and offer them some jobs. It's full of crooks, thieves. It's like Lodge.
Lodger genoven.
Listen, if you want to change money, go to a bank. For one of their pounds, it'll cost you 6 rubles.
Ja, aber was kann ich machen? Ich habe ein Geschäft da, ich bin ein Mäkler, ich kann nicht geben Buletten, jeder kommt da und gibt ein Blatt. Ich kann nicht machen, gar nicht. Die rote Pest ein bisschen Gold zu verkaufen. Die rote ist gar nicht.
She's got a ticket to America, he won't let her go. She's got to stay here. It's all right for me, I can work, but what can she do?
So what you going to do? You're going to bring the police down here? Yeah, and the police will come in and question him, and then they'll go to the Haim and arrest the agent?
Made the Cossacks have burnt his place down already. Ever since I started this journey, people have been taking money off me. Customs guards, all of them.
This is what happens.
Garnished I've got left here.
So what are you going to do?
That's what I do. I'm a baker. I find work. I get a job.
Yeah.
So I work for a baker. I'll get some money.
Yeah. How are you going to find a job as a baker?
Who knows? How? I walk the streets. I find bakers. I go in. I knock on doors.
Oh, you know where the bakers are?
I don't...
You go round and knock on the doors, and you walk in and they say, "Oi, Moishe Putievsky," and they'll give you a job. You think it's that easy?
So I'll go the Hazamat. Is that what you call the Hazamat? I'll be a pig. I'll do anything.
That's really clever. That you stand in the Hazamat with your tuchas hanging.
So what else?
I know a few bakers. If you want, I'll go round. I'll have a word with them. Maybe there's a job going.
You know bakers?
Listen, it's my business. It's my business to know people. I do business with bakers. So if you want, I'll go and have a word.
You do business with like you do business with money changers? You find me a baker like you find change money for me? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, you want me to help you or not? I mean, I'll do you a favour. Do you want me to?
Yeah, sure. What else can I do?
The thing is, you've got to understand that my time is money. I don't mind doing you a favour, but you see me for it, yes?
Well,
you see me.
You want money off me as well? You're another gunner I got here. Is that what you're saying?
I've come for... If I've taken anything, take it from me. What have I taken from you? I want to do you a favour. If I do you a favour, then you do me a favour. You see me. I mean, one hand washes the other. What am I supposed to do? Come down. Come on down. Come in. This is Mr. Levy, who's the founder of the bakery.
Shalom Aleichem. Shalom.
And his son, Mr. Solomon, who now runs the bakery. Mr. Moishe Putievsky.
Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem Shalom.
Putievsky. Where do you come from, Mr. Putievsky?
Poland. Lodge.
Ah, Polish.
Yeah, you see his hands? Look, proper baker's hands. Big for mixing the dough.
Sure. He looks a good, gesunder, starker Jung. A strong boy.
Mr. Putievsky, can I have a word with you? Before my father hires you. So, you've been in England a week now?
No, I arrived yesterday. Came off the boat yesterday.
And you're looking for a
Lovely
job?
mitzvah they gave you.
Yeah.
And you think you're a good baker?
All my life, since I was a kleiner Jungle, I've been baking. You see.
So you know what you're doing and you're going to work hard?
I'm used to hard work.
You know how it is.
work long
I'm
hours,
always
you
running around here, there, everywhere, you know, trying to scratch a penny.
But you should still try and make time to go to shul more regularly. You know, you mustn't lose the old ways.
If I could, I would. Believe me, I'd try. But you know already, I haven't got a trade or anything, so nobody gives me a living. I've got to make pennies where I can.
Nobody gives you a living.
Yeah,
Who gives anybody a living? You've got to make a
good.
living.
Oh,
So we'll see you at 5
Thank
o'clock this
God.
afternoon.
Use my wits. Yeah. And I know people. You know how it is.
That's good. But still, you must...
So you got the job?
Well, he's going to come and work for a few days, see if he's a good worker.
Tell me, where are you staying?
I'm at the shelter, but I'll have to leave there now because I've got a job.
Yes, well, how's the family?
Gott sei Dank, Gott sei Dank.
En Rezale, was macht sie?
Mr. Barrel don't talk to me about Razor.
Kinder? Was machen die Kinder?
Tate, what are you doing? You schluffing or are you talking?
Talking, what's sloughing? I'm not sloughing. I'm sitting here.
Do me a favour, go to bed.
Good night.
Schlaf Gesundheit, Mr. Levy.
Listen, I'll be back in a minute.
So you got nowhere to stay?
No, I'll have to go looking for somewhere later. Tell you the truth, I didn't even think I'd be staying here this long. I'm supposed to be going to America.
America?
Yeah. The Golden Medina.
Golden Medina. Pray for Medina, America. Unclean land. Got a good job here. Why should you want to go to America?
What's it like here? What they like to work?
When I started off, Mr. Levy, Mr. Barrel, he was in charge. He was a good man, a wonderful man. But unfortunately, Sol, his son, is not quite the same thing, I can tell you. He's bit of a slave driver. Wants to make $1 million. Your lodgings, might be able to help you. Rents around here are terrible, you know, the landlords, they charge what they like, and if you have a lodger or two, how can you pay the rent? Leila, ich bin du. Was macht der Bös?
Ganz gut.
My wife Leia. Mush,
Putievsky.
Tievsky.
Großen Dank.
Muito favor.
Sie sei von Azad.
Setz dich weg.
I was seated in my chair.
Your chair.
Willst du Glas Latte?
Oh, thank you. Beautiful children.
Thank you. This is my altar.
Hello.
Say hello to Mr. Putievsky.
Hello, Mr. Putievsky.
This is my chandelier lily. Can you say hello to Mr. Putievsky?
Too shy.
And this is my Chaim, laughing, yeah? You gonna say hello to Mr. Putievsky, yes?
Hello, Mr. Putievsky.
Mr. Putievsky.
Die Kinder. Thank you.
So, where's Rosie?
Don't talk to me about Rosie. You know what I mean. Out all the time, Shabbos evening, she's out all the time with this anarchist. You don't say anything to her.
You talk about Rosie now?
He's gone to sleep.
Something to eat, Mr. Putievsky?
No, I'm all right.
You need a good schlaf.
Tell the truth, the noise gemacht hat.
Show you your room.
I'll see you soon. Thank you.
You here?
Yeah, on the first on the right. No, that's our room.
Oh, sorry.
All right. This is in here.
Zullen we leggen?
Zal ik hem schillen?
You can sit down, you know. You must be Musha.
Podijewski. Moshe Podijewski. You're Jossel's sister, Hazel, yeah?
Rose.
Rose.
Call me Rosie. Come in, Leibish. Sit down.
I am in, thank you. I'm sitting.
This is Moshe. He's working with Yossel in the bakery. He's got his job. Is he? Got the sack?
I didn't know.
He got the sack just a few days ago. It was for asking questions.
He opened his mouth, so he got the sack.
Don't mind me asking, Moshe, how much you earning?
They said they start me on 15 shillings. 15 shillings, and then he said, see how it goes.
See, the Greeners, they come over here, they get a job. Take a job from someone who's got the sack. They're glad to get the money, whatever it is.
Well, he's just begun. I mean, he's hardly got off the boat yet, so it's a start.
You know what you should be earning? 25 shillings a week you should be getting for that job.
A little money's better than no money, and he's got a roof over his head. So, in time, please God, he'll be established, have his own business, settle down, he'll have a nice house.
How's he going to have his own business, Leibish? Be sensible. How much do you think a business costs? A shilling? He should buy a business for
I'm
a
not
shilling.
talking about
On
now.
15 shillings a week, he's going to be able to buy a business?
Things change.
There's
things
more
get better.
people arriving all the time. Do you think the work situation's getting any better?
So what, you want to send them back, God forbid? Well, of course, things improve. We're better off here than we are in the Hague.
Moshe, if you're interested in what's going on in London, in the life around you, you should come along. You should come along one evening with me. Come to the Workers' Club. There's some very interesting people there. You can meet them,
talk about them, find out what's really happening in the baker's business, you know.
Oh, leave the young man alone. He's just got here. You want to schlep him along to places like that?
It's not a question of schlep.
You should be ashamed even to mention that you know where the place is, let alone to encourage others to go in.
He doesn't like it. They
Doesn't
don't
like it?
because it's at the back of a
public house.
It's
A club.
where decent, educated, interested people.
The chicken of friends she has. Don't
You
ask
know
what they
nothing
must
about
get
the
up to.
ideas. If
Nothing. I've heard enough. I don't want to know. This so-called interest of yours is because your mind has nothing better to think about. After all, at your time of life, I mean, you're a young woman, thank God, but still you should have 3 children at least by now. You should be married, settled down, so then you'd be interested in the right things. Funny. Disregard, listen, God forbid, the Torah itself she would laugh at. That doesn't understand the most important mitzvah of all. The very first one. I mean, you know that of all 613 mitzvahs in the Torah, it's to marry. Be fruitful and multiply. The very first mitzvah. That's what counts. That's what life is about.
If it's such a mitzvah to get married, Labish, how come you divorced your wife? Answer me that, eh? Why'd you leave her behind in Poland with your little boy?
It wasn't Poland for a start, it was Austria.
Oh, wherever it
Galicia.
is, wherever it is. What does it matter? Why didn't you bring her over with you? Why'd you get
You
her
know why
divorced
I
if it's
couldn't.
such a mitzvah to get married?
That was different. I had to leave her. We couldn't afford all to come together, so I came
Divorced
ahead.
his wife.
You know what it is. I'm sure the same thing happens when the man goes ahead, so he gives his wife a get. Because otherwise, if God forbid, you know, the ship sinks or he disappears without trace on a strange land. So you know that. My Rivka, bless her, when she comes here, so of course we're remarried.
You expecting someone?
Who am I expecting? Bomb-throwing friends of yours, no doubt.
If you excuse me, I'll go to the toilet.
Go. Well, I can't go for you.
You know, you wanted to meet a nice Jewish family, and who's a better man than your son? My friend.
Really, no, but I suppose it's all right. This is Arnold White. Mr.
That is correct. Good day.
Yes, he's come to ask us some questions
Shalom
about
Aleichem,
something.
Shalom Aleichem. What?
He's come from Mr. Somper. Got a letter from Mr. Somper. He's come to ask us some questions.
Perhaps I might sit down.
Oh, yes.
It's very kind, thank you.
I'll sit next to him because I'm the official translation.
Oh, give me the seat.
Now, if I may explain, I'm trying to collect information about the problems that are encountered by immigrants to this country when they first arrive here. Now, I shall be asking several questions, and 1 or 2 of them you may find a little personal, but I would like to point out that on the forms I use to record the answers to these questions, no names are ever written down and no addresses are written down, so it is impossible for the answers ever to be connected with the people who give them. It is a purely statistical exercise. For many years I have been a student of the social conditions in the East End of London.
Jewish greeting.
Oh, yes, thank you. I've studied the problems in the East End of London, and I've written many books about it, and I've been consulted by the government. In 1888, for instance, there was an investigation into the problems arising out of sweating, and I gave evidence to the government on that. Now, shortly, there is to be a royal commission, and on that, Lord Rothschild will be representing the Hebrew race. Now, I shall be called as a witness in that, so I wish to get my knowledge up to date on the
Something to
situation.
do with a court.
Yeah.
A witness is a witness.
And with the
Was she
royal...
going to court?
No. They go to the court, and with the Royal Commission, they give him money for the questions he answers. You understand, the commission from the royals, and this helps the Jews. He
gives the money to the Jews. He gets from the.
He doesn't give the money to the Jews, but for the questions and the things he answers.
Now, if we may proceed. Now, to begin.
Yossel comes back. Perhaps he doesn't want you to tell a stranger.
Silly. No,
So what you got to wait for Yossel?
Because Yossel's a balaboss.
And you're not a mensch, eh? You can't answer questions. Don't be silly.
Are you sure he's not a tax collector?
What?
No, of the men.
He's not a missionary, God forbid.
A missionary from what? What missionary?
First of all, the head of the household.
With Yossel,
Now,
you think he's going to do
yes?
this?
The head of the household.
It's Yossel. He wants to know Yossel.
Now, is he married?
Yes.
Yes. And is he employed? He has a job at the moment. And what is his employment?
He's a baker.
A baker.
A baker.
He's a baker.
And what are his earnings when he is fully employed as a baker?
What's he asking?
He wants to know how much
He earns.
Yossel,
How much of
how much
a
money
week?
he gets.
What kind of
25.
She's not telling him.
There's nothing wrong.
Ask Yossel
What
first.
you so worried about?
Shillings a week.
Thank
Who you tell a stranger your business?
Now, the next man, well, let us take this gentleman. Now, is he married?
He wants to know if you're married, Lavish.
So
You know
that's
what
still
to
up.
tell him.
I'm married. What do you mean, Bob?
Maybe she's married.
Well, because he was married, but he got a divorce. He got a gift.
You're
you see,
joking.
yeah. So
How long
he's
you
got
been
a wife. He's got a wife.
haven't.
He's married with a little child.
A child?
Yes.
Maybe I never knew you had it in you.
I love
How old's the child?
Casper?
Nearly 2.
We must try
Yeah, excuse me a second. How old?
Nearly 2.
Nearly two.
Just after Shavuos, God willing, he'll be 2. Little Yossel.
Noch a Yossel.
Oh, is that the most beautiful child you've ever seen? His
they
eyes
laugh?
can
I never knew.
So what do we tell him? Because
I don't know.
he's not really married.
Yes,
Oh,
but I mean,
no, goodness, they say I'm married. No.
you don't want
Say
to?
you
No,
want to
God,
say?
yes.
Say you're married.
Yes, I mean, I get it. It's religious. I mean,
Yes.
it makes me sound more.
Yes, he is married. Yes.
Yes.
And his
Never knew you had it in
trade, his occupation? Your occupation?
He wants
Taylor.
Oh, Taylor.
Taylor.
very good.
Oh, he's going to
Where did you learn to speak English?
Not from you.
You should learn from me. I'm a good speaker. Believe me.
And
pretty good, yeah.
his earnings? His earnings?
Wiffelgeld.
Oh, I tell him. 7 shillings a talk on a full day.
7 shillings on a full day.
Should I tell him about the Nicholas that I'm making?
Now, the third man in the house, who's he?
Oh, that's Moshe Putievsky.
Oh. Now, I wonder, would you tell me, are you married and what is your trade?
Was redt auf mir? Ich verstehe nicht kein Wort auf Rafael.
Yes.
Was will wissen?
There's nothing to worry about. I mean, he's not asking of you. I mean, he wants to know about you, but he's not taking the names down.
Casper, perhaps you would ask
So there's no worry. He wants to help the Jewish people, so he asked the questions. And he asked,
can I help the Jewish people?
listen, we can
end
do
up
it.
in the army.
You
could end up in the army. In this country, anything's
I
possible.
mean, it does happen, you know. I mean, it's not only. I mean, as we saw. I mean, you just.
Better if you hadn't come.
Mr. White has arrived, Major.
Ah, show him in advance, please.
Would you come this way, sir?
Thank you so much. My dear Major Evans Gordon, I do apologise. I fear I'm disgracefully late.
White, my dear fellow, pray don't mention it. I'm delighted to make your
And
acquaintance.
are you?
I hope you've no difficulty finding your way here.
No, indeed, I do know this part of the East End of London quite well.
Of course, I should have remembered. I dare say my people could manage a dish of tea, or would a chota paper be more appropriate?
I think a small whisky would be admirable, if I may.
Water or soda?
Water, please, just a splash. Splendid, thank you. Well, sir, your very good health, and many congratulations on your success in the election.
Khaki worked nobly for Major Evans Gordon, the East London Observer. I'm bound to say I was surprised not to see you standing for a constituency in this area.
Well, yes.
A member of the Conservative Party with your special qualifications would very soon find himself with a seat in the East End.
Well, happily, the difference between our parties is now becoming very small indeed.
Pray be seated.
Thank you.
I'm afraid I'm due shortly at the House, so this meeting will inevitably be briefer than I would have wished.
Oh, dear, I am sorry. It's my fault.
I dare say you'll be able to hazard a guess as to why I was so anxious to meet you.
Yes, I think perhaps I can.
It's all right. Come here. Come along. That's interesting. Oh, how good. Marcia, you should buy your own newspaper. You can afford a penny.
They make it this thing. It's very good.
Lady here. Yes, yes. Never let you forget it.
She tells me it comes from India.
What is that?
Yeah.
It's busy.
gets more people a bit later than nobody's talking or there's a bit of dancing later, so...
A bit more Heimlich than out there.
That's Rocker over there. The man with the glasses, yes. He's not a Yid, you know. He's German.
Rosie, how nice to see you. Now, I want you to introduce me to your new friend.
Oh, this is Moshe Putievsky. He's living with us now.
Moshe, welcome. And now I would like to introduce my new friend. This is Avri Blisky, who is a Bolshevik from St. Petersburg. You must be very careful.
Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem.
Rosie is our bank manager. Without her, we couldn't exist. Quite true. She ekes out the money to us. Oh, please sit down.
Thank you.
Now, Moshe, tell me about yourself. How long have you been here?
2 weeks. Yeah, just 2 weeks already.
If you'll excuse me, I have to go and talk to someone. I'll talk to you later.
Sure. You heard about the laws
Mr.
in Russia
Peter,
at the moment?
please.
The anti-student, anti-right laws, which had just been brought in.
I think it would be a good idea if we went over the points of the meeting.
Yeah, well, I've mapped out 1 or 2 things, I was going to say. Some of which might not be a bit too popular.
Well, that's inevitable. That's what the discussion is about, isn't
I've
it?
got a very big problem indeed with my members. You realize that, don't you?
Well, of course, I realize that one of the problems is also is that your problem is not just your problem. It is my problem as well.
Well, we've all got problems, I know that, but the main basis is this undercutting, you see.
Well,
we're trying to organize in factories and get real factory organized labor, and if you have all this undercutting, it destroys everything that we're setting out to do.
But what we have to understand is a totally different systems of working.
Any form of discussion of this matter of restriction inevitably lays one open to the dreaded charge of anti-Semitism. I mean, I know this of old. I have written again and again in my books, in newspaper articles, that I am not anti-Semitic, that I have not one shred of anti-Semitism in my whole makeup.
But this is a charge that we must be prepared to face if we're convinced that the control of immigration is right.
Yes, indeed, we must face it. But we must prove that it is unfounded, or I'm sure we'll be unsuccessful.
Oh, yes, indeed, yes, indeed. Now, let us suppose, for the sake of argument, that we do concede that the control of the influx of alien immigrants into this country is something that needs to be done. Let me ask you 2 questions. Whom should we seek to keep out, and how shall we do it?
Evans Gordon. Yes, he's the Member of Parliament for Stepney. He's an anti-Semite, Judenfeind.
That makes sense.
What's it say?
Listen. Public meeting, Stepney Meeting House. The object. They state their objects quite clearly. The object of their meeting is to bring about legislation to stop immigration in this country of alien paupers.
That's us. Alien paupers, that's what they call us.
Not exiles, not refugees.
We're workers, we're not paupers. I work.
Moshe, I have seen, I know the strategy. You can recognize this straight away just by the words they use. Alien paupers. I've seen these people. I know this type, this organization in St. Petersburg in Russia. There are dozens of these organizations in Russia. Exactly the same aim. And the ruling class are trying to cover up the cracks in their system by creating a Jewish problem. What I suggest is that we actually attend this meeting. We get as many of our supporters to go to this meeting, and every single time we hear a lie, we hear an untruth, we stand up in that meeting and we contradict it. We correct that lie.
You're asking for trouble, aren't you? I mean, what are you going to do? Somebody stands up, says something you don't agree with, you're going to hit them over the head or something?
Moshe, I didn't... No one's
going to be violent.
Moshe, we have a responsibility. As workers, not as Bolsheviks or Mensheviks or even anarchists. What will happen if these members of parliament get the support of the British working class? This legislation will be passed, and where will the Jews go? Because that's what will happen. It will prevent the Jews from coming into England. And it's already happened in America. They are already turning away Jews from America. We must stop them now, before it takes root.
I see that. I see what you're saying, but I don't want trouble. I didn't come here for trouble.
It is all very well for red radical politicians safe in their country constituencies to praise the beauties of free and unfettered immigration for all and sundry. But I have to ask them this. Which one of them will offer to house 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 destitute aliens in the homes of their constituents and then try to pacify them with talk of the open door? My friends, the open door is a very fine thing, so long as it is someone else's. Now, let no one suppose that I have any personal ill feeling for Jews or Poles or any other nation. The approval of the Jewish Board of Guardians, the letters of support for the aims of this meeting, which we have received from the members of Parliament for Poplar and Limehouse, both themselves members of the Jewish faith, make that plain. But this flood of destitute and undesirable aliens must stop. We want to rid our jails of foreign criminals and our streets of foreign prostitutes and pimps. But above all, we want to save our own poorer countrymen from a burden which will inevitably make their lives harsher and more difficult and deprive them of what we believe to be the first of all their rights, the right to earn a living in their own native land. I move the resolution that this meeting of inhabitants of the borough of Stepney, having heard the objects of the British Brothers League, expresses its hearty approval of such objects and pledges itself to use every effort, irrespective of party, to further the work of the League in its effort to put an end to the influx of destitute aliens.
Is this British Brotherhood? I have an amendment to this motion. This meeting believes that nothing short of the complete organisation of industry by the people themselves and the total abolition of private ownership and the needs of white of pauperism.
You were elected to Parliament on a Jewish vote! Shut your mouth, this Jewish whore! On a Jewish vote! Get out of here, you!
My friends, perhaps those who are gearing to make trouble might be encouraged to leave the meeting.
We'll teach you to interfere, you bastard Jew!
Go around the back way. No, let him stand there. Here, boy.
Where are you, dirty Jew? Where's he gone? Hurry up the back.
Go and have a look down there. Quick.
Come on, son. Come on. You're right up here. You're right, trimming, didn't they, eh? Poor son, in you go then. It's all right, Andy. He's hurt himself.
Großen Dank.
Poor son, in you go. Get some water, will you? Bit of rag. Sit down, son. Go on. Hey, go on now. Sit down. That's it. What are you playing about, that girl? Anything will do. Bit of rag, that's all. Bit of rag and water. You bet. Right? That's it. Right. Hold on. Here, son.
Thank you.
What was all that about then? Bit saucy, was you?
Ich verstehe nicht.
Yeah, yeah. Don't let them push you about, son. You'll last 2 minutes here. Plenty of people taking liberties. Sort them out. Here. Thank you. Cheers. Fine. Ganz geht. You off the capital boat then, are you? Rusky? Deutsches?
Poland.
Oh, Poland. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Ich bin ein Jid.
Well, I guess that, didn't I? Jew boy. Yeah.
Bandenantisemiten haben mir gejagt.
That's all you asked for it, son.
English.
Well, that's it, isn't it? No wonder they wanted to sort you out. I don't know, you people. Come over here, arse hanging out your trousers. Get a job, couple of bob in your pocket. Start telling us how to run the country. Running away from the Cossacks, are you?
Cossacks, yeah.
Cossacks, yeah, that's right, yeah. Oh, blimey, Cossacks. Ask her about Cossacks. She comes from Ireland. Got coppers here to eat your Cossacks. Had one of your blokes down our docks the other day. Going on alarming he was. What you got against my people? I said, my people? What's my people? Lucky Moses or something? He said, you don't like Jews, do you? I said, nothing to do with Jews, Eskimos, Irish. Cheap labour, mate. That's all it's about, cheap labour. Working class solidarity, they call that. All that rubbish you got there. See how long that'll last when you make a few bob. You'll be up west, talking like Lord Rothschild. All right when you got nothing, yeah, all stick together, brothers, stick together. Next minute, all right, Governor? All right with you? Yes. Marvellous, isn't it, eh? Kicking each other to death. Governors are laughing, aren't they? And what do those silly sods know about immigrants? Jews, all that rubbish. Go on, boys, get stuck in, sort out the Jews. Sort out the Irish. Sort out the Eskimos. The governor sit back, laughing. Not silly, are they? That's why they're governors, isn't it? Immigrants. We're all bleeding immigrants. King's a German, isn't he? She still thinks she's living in Dublin. Oh, look at this place, look. I'm Irish. Know that? Irish. Didn't know till I was 20, though. I can't stand the bastards. No, son. It's all a bleating great joke. Be the same 100 years from now. Be something else, wouldn't it? Taking over my jobs, working for tuppence. Bleating great joke. Hope I don't live to see it, tell you that. And that's sort of bleating word I've been saying, have you?
I don't know where he is. He went out for a walk, that's all I know.
How do you know he went out for a walk?
I saw him go out for a walk.
Well, where did he go?
I don't know where he went, I didn't know.
You live with him, don't you?
He's my lodger. I'm supposed to know where he is every minute of the day here.
You don't even know where your own sister is.
My sister? What's my sister got to do with it?
Nothing. It's got nothing to do with your sister.
Suddenly brings in my sister.
Something must have happened. A good worker like this, he's never been late before. Maybe he's had an accident.
You're always trying to make excuses for him.
Making excuses? What excuses? What happened?
Sorry, I'm late.
Look,
I'm sorry. I would have been here sooner. I had some troubles.
Trouble? What happened to you? You had an accident. There you are. I told you you had an accident, didn't
I'm
I?
ready to work now, please. Let me get
Never
on
mind the work for the minute. What happened?
Some anti-Semitic people.
Started a fight.
What, they attacked you?
Yeah, sure they attacked
In the
me.
street? Come, Golden, look out. Look, he's bleeding.
Listen, can I work now? I'm ready to work.
Oh, never mind the work for a moment. Just, look at he's broken his head.
It's all right. Don't fuss, please.
Listen, Dad, will you go up to the shop?
What's with the shop?
Listen, if Golda's down here looking after Moisha, will you go up to the shop? You want people to steal bread?
Nobody's stealing bread. The boy's been wounded, hasn't he?
It's all right. Don't worry. I just want to get on with my job here.
You're in no state to work.
What happened to you, Moisha?
Happened. I went to a meeting. That's what happened.
A meeting?
Yeah.
It was Rosie's idea.
Rosie? What are you talking about Rosie all of a sudden?
This is her work, this is. Her influence, her ideas. Look at him. She takes him to a meeting and look what happens to him.
Rosie? All of a sudden everyone's talking about Rosie. I'm supposed to be...
It's her influence, it must be.
No, it's nothing.
It's grown out of me.
Are you crazy? How can you work
I come here to do my job. Well,
Sure.
she's all right.
Listen, Moisha, I tell you, I was just saying, I don't need this sort of trouble. I can find another baker who doesn't get into fights.
Moisha, he's got into trouble.
Dad, are you going to go up to the shop or what?
All right, I'm going up to the shop. Don't worry.
Moisha, I'm telling you, I don't know whether to keep you on or not.
Folly! Look at him, he's hurt.
Listen, Moisha, I'll tell you, I'll give you one more chance, but I mean it. If you're late again, once more, or if anything happens, or if there's any more trouble, that's it, you're out. And I'll get another baker.
All right, Solly. He's been hurt.
Dad, will you get up to the shop?
All right, I'm going up to the shop. What's in the shop that's a special?
Listen, I promise you, it won't happen again. I don't want such tours, believe me.
Are we going to stand round or are we going to do some work?
Good morning, Lord.
Morning, Razor.
Oh,
Good
sorry,
morning.
good morning.
Morning. Morning, Lord. Before we go into the evidence, I should like to ask you what you know generally about this question and your connection with
In
it.
answer to that question, I should like to say in the first instance that I am not posing before the Royal Commission in any way as an expert on any of the points on which I am going to give evidence. I could name many men who could speak with much greater authority and much greater knowledge on every single point upon which I propose to speak. But my interest and my public action in regard to the alien problem began in 1884. I found that the alien immigration from abroad was a national evil for 7 reasons. First, because it depressed the Englishmen's standard of comfort, impaired their physical efficiency by exposing them to a competition to which they were unsuited by diet or housing customs, lowered the wages of unskilled women and labourers, raised rents, enlarged the area of and established the sweating system. The 6th reason was exclusive dealing, and lastly, their dogged refusal to assimilate through intermarriage. Intermarriage is the most powerful, if it is not the only, solvent of racial distinction. I'm exceedingly anxious the Royal Commissioners will allow me to put in what is now scientifically established as the minimum cost of the food necessary to maintain a man in moderate work in a state of physical efficiency. The reason of that is this, that the physical efficiency of the immigrants can be maintained at a much lower cost than the physical efficiency of the native born. And just as a base coin, if introduced into the currency, drives out a superior coin, so a race that is capable of working and living on a lower diet and of sleeping 5 or 10 in a room will drive out, for all practical purposes of competition, a race that cannot live without beefsteaks and beer.
Travis! Was macht er hier?
Pennies indeed.
Ich hab da liegen.
Smart as I see.
Yeah, you buying or selling?
Neither. I got my own here already.
Yeah, you in your own business?
Yeah, it's up the road. Come and see me.
I'll come and see you, yeah.
Have it here. I found both sources I wanted. So first, in overs. Shemaiah said, Ehoves hamelucha, love work, usno es harabunus, and hate bosses. Here, it's here.
Let's stay there. How
No,
does it go on?
no, I've got even better here.
You do?
Let me look here in Kisaitza.
I would like to come back and
We'll
discuss
come
that
back
later
to
on
it.
if we can.
First, I'll follow it through on the Zifra and Kisaitza.
I'm quite attracted by the ideas.
It's good for you
expressed
to
in
be
that
attracted
passage.
by the Gemara. Well, his overs, actually, but here it is, straight away. To the employer of workmen, the rabbi said, Behold, the poor man goes up into the highest scaffolding, up into the tallest tree. And for why should he put himself into such danger, if not in order to make a living? Therefore, the rabbi said to the employer, be careful not to oppress this man in his wages, for it is his very life. Now, if my rotten Mr. Goldberg, my governor, if he took this to heart, he would be halfway to being a mensch.
Yes,
because a Jew who exploits is nicht a gitter Yid. Is he a good Jew? He's going against the very toiler. The working man takes precedence over all others.
But you
It
talk
says
of
so,
pointing
it's
out.
written.
You talk of pointing out, illustrating, and teaching. That infers a process. What is the? How does one point out? Does one stand on a street corner and point out? Does one go into the factory? We're talking about practical and real problems of pointing out the truth to the exploiter. How do we go about pointing out that truth?
Moshe, Shalom Aleichem. Aleichem Shalom.
You know each other?
Yeah.
Please.
Come in, sit down.
Moshe, we were just learning a page of the Gemara. Join us.
You carry on. Sorry.
How are you? Is it any better? Oh,
No, it's all right. It's all right.
So,
It looks quite bad. That's
it's
right.
better than it was.
Do you remember what we've been studying?
No.
See? Do you remember?
We were talking about whether there should be a boss in the first place, and then we were trying to look for parallels amongst thinkers of today.
That's right. And what did we decide? That ideally there should not be bosses. But it looks as if, unfortunately, we'll have to wait for the Mashiach to come before there are no more bosses. Life is unfair. All we can do is struggle and be true to the Torah in whatever environment we find ourselves.
Of course I've been at work.
I don't
Course
think
I've
it's
been.
as simple as that.
If it's not bombers werfen, you know, it's to throw bombs. The obvious way.
Is Moshe a socialist, an anarchist?
No, but
You
you've
know,
been
he-
schlepping him along to these things.
he
You get
got-
him into bad
he's-
habits, you draw bad attention to him, so naturally people will start.
What
So who-
attention were you drawing to yourself?
Well, here, nobody's beating me.
Back home? And you were thrown out. You were sitting in London
Back home, they're like
because
savages.
you were on street corners shouting
I wasn't on a
and
street.
screaming.
No.
No, but you were still thrown out. What attention were you drawing to yourself? You tell me.
The attention was drawn to me back home. You know, near Kruka, the big city in Galicia. So there's a cloister near there. And they have this painting, it's supposed to be a rabbi, and he's killing a Christian child.
Convert too in the end.
And you want to see thousands upon thousands of goyim, the peasants, every year
Carol,
they go
isn't
there,
he?
they kneel
Get
before
his head broken as well.
matter?
What's the matter?
What's the matter with you?
What's he doing here?
Who?
Avram, what's he doing here now?
We've just come
You
back.
invite him back now?
Oh, we've just been selling the paper.
I come back here and he's here. I mean, what's going on? Is there something between you and him now? Is that what you're telling me?
Avram is my friend. You know Avram is my friend.
I thought I was your friend.
Well, you're my friend as well, Moshe.
I've got a girl in the Heim. An arrangement between my parents and her parents, you know? Ever since I meet you, I've been tearing my hair out as to what I should do, what I should write home to tell this girl. I don't know. I don't understand what the situation is here. You talk to me. There's nobody else there. No chaperone. We go out together. I shouldn't think things from that.
Well, what have you done? Have you written to her?
What have I done? Sure, I've written to her. I just don't know what to tell her.
Well, you should be honest with her.
I thought it's enough you be honest with me so I know where I stand.
It's important to be honest with people, Moshe. You can't just leave a woman hanging on in the home. It's not fair to her. You should write to her immediately and tell her, you know, if you have any doubts about your feelings, you should let her know. Let her know where she stands. So
telling me how to behave with her now? What?
I suggest that the good characteristics of these immigrants are their great brain power and shrewdness, their industry, temperance, domesticity, and their great capacity for low living and high thinking, ambition and emulation, and almost universal desire to shine and get on. They're not like the Englishman who will live comparatively contented all his life on 25 or 28 shillings a week. They're all looking up. They're looking not to take in piecework, but to give it out. My point is that in this country, highly organized as we are, we want more people who will take subordinate tasks, rather than ambitious people who all want to get to the top. You do not find Jewish carpenters as a rule. You find a certain amount of furniture made, it is true. Then you do not find Jewish gardeners or bricklayers or hewers of wood or drawers of water. They take light speculative trades, such as fruit, where there is profit to be made, and they all aim at getting to the top.
All ideas of mutualism, collectivism, and communism must be subordinated to the great idea of educating people to be free, to think and work freely. We must aim at making it possible for the individual to develop his natural capacities, unrestrained by dogma. The word propaganda has left a bad taste in people's mouths, because it is too often just a batch of empty slogans. True propaganda should be directed not at sloganizing, but at making people think for themselves. We must open up new intellectual and spiritual horizons for the people, making them want a better life. The worst tyranny is that of ideas handed down to us, allowing no development in ourselves, trying to force everything and everyone into one universal mold. The inadequacy in our existing social order and the glaring injustices of our political and social life must not lead us to make the mistake of judging our entire culture by one standard. We have a common cultural inheritance in what the human spirit has created in science, art, literature, and philosophy. This should be the starting point and the bridge to all further social development. There is not only the hunger of the body, but also the hunger of the soul.
The first evidence that we are importing a criminal Jewish population is shown by the fact that the government, without mentioning the fact in the House of Commons, are building synagogues at Wormwood Scrubs, Parkhurst and Pentonville. I cannot learn that any prison chapels are being built for Unitarians or for Baptists, who are 3 times as numerous as the
Are
Jews.
you trying to suggest that there's a large number of criminals coming in with the Jews?
I do it with the object of trying to get you to call before you the magistrates and the police authorities. I make no assertion, because I do not know. And if I said so, I went too far. The next point which should be regarded as bad is a tendency to, or the existence of, incendiarism. I am credibly informed and believe that the insurance companies of London, that is to say the principal insurance companies, have special regulations with regard to issuing policies to East End Russian Jews.
Sorry to contradict you, but that is not the case.
I'm sure Lord Rothschild is right, but my recollection of what occurred when I was at the bar was that in these cases of insurance, it was always said that there was very great care taken by the insurance companies in insuring, as the term used to be, the Polish Jew. They had a great objection to it.
If Lord Rothschild had not interrupted me, I was going to add that I am also reliably informed and believe that Lord Rothschild recently received a deputation of Polish Jews, which deputation requested him to use such influence as he might have as the chairman of the Alliance Insurance Company to have the objections of that company removed to the insuring of East End premises.
Would you finish what you were going to say about the special rules which you believe to apply?
I have been told by a great authority that they do not exist. And therefore I think it would be better if I turn to my next point.
It's only me, Kravitz.
Sweeney Lemon, please, madam. A lovely piece of coffee, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're busy. I'll wait a minute.
Can I just show you out?
Busy.
Be careful of the stairs as you go. Thank you.
Kravitz, was machst du etwas?
Indeed.
Well, nicht kuscheln.
I met him in the street. I said I was coming here, so he said he'd come with me.
Sure, I'm in business, yeah, my own place. Come round, I'll show you some more.
Where'd you go here?
You see
My
what he's got in
workshop where I
there?
keep the stuff.
Look at all this cloth. It's all yours?
Sure, it's all mine. Who else's should it
It's
be?
a ganze Mache.
I told you he was.
How'd you get into all this?
I tell you, I buy cheap and you sell cheap. And you do somebody a misservice round the corner, no problem.
See? I told you he's a Dre copy. He is.
Yeah,
Believe
but
me,
capital, you got to start with capital.
You don't need capital, you just need your first bid. You get it on credit. So what, you buy your first piece of cloth, you sell it, and with the money you sell, you'll be able to get 2 pieces. And then you get more money, 4 pieces. It's all business, you must know that.
Business. Well, I know about
See what I
business.
mean? I wish I did.
It's a businessman.
Yeah.
Good,
Please
yeah.
God by me, I wish I was a businessman.
Yeah, sure.
Kravitz, you haven't got a bit of schlapping for me, have you?
Come tomorrow, Uncle. I might have a day's
Yeah,
work.
you'll have it for the rest of the week.
Sure, not for the rest of the week. Tomorrow I'll have a day's work.
Listen, I'll come tomorrow and you're fine for the rest of the week.
Yeah, Uncle, take my word. I've got 1 day's work for you. Come tomorrow. I haven't got any more.
All right, I know you already. You're fine for me. Don't worry.
Uncle, you're driving me mad. Tomorrow,
I tell you, he's so good to me, Moisha. I come here, I do a bit of schlapping, and I bring rags here.
Rags, that's all he does
buys the
bring
rags
here.
from me. He gives me
Moisha.
marvellous prices,
Yeah.
different than anywhere else.
While you're here,
So,
I've got a nice piece of cloth for you.
For me?
Sure. You can't go around wearing that schmatter the rest of
I
your
can't
life.
afford cloth. But they
A
pay
man
me
like
at the
you can't
bakery.
afford a piece of cloth like that?
Goodness, they pay me there.
So
you're
good
lucky
piece
to
of
have a job.
cloth.
Believe me.
Feel.
I can see.
See what you think.
Smelly cloth.
Hey, you know, I found him the job at the bakery.
No, you find everybody everything.
Everybody tells you, family.
Look, I'm proud of finding you the job. I shouldn't be proud.
No, thank you.
So how is the bakery?
Same as ever. Long hours. They pay me very little.
So what you doing about it?
I like you, I should be my own boss. But it's not easy. You can't buy a bakery on credit, you know. You need capital. Get established.
Well, that's up to you.
Sure, it's up to me. I'm saving up. Maybe one day I'll have enough.
You have a bit of schlapping for me when you got your own bakery. I don't ask, I won't get, will I?
So you got some money saved up?
Yeah, I saved up some money. Not a lot, but I'm on the way, you know.
What you saving up for? What are you going to do?
Well, eventually, if I can find a bakery, that maybe I'll buy it out and I'll be my own boss, have my own bakery.
So how much you got already?
£3, nearly £3.
£3 won't buy your
I
bakery.
know somebody found one for £5. You know, you've got to find the premises, and somebody left, so he bought his way in. You know, it's possible, but it's difficult.
So how are you going to make the extra £2?
How? I'll work and I'll save. What else?
Come in, I tell you. Invested in my cloth. No time, sure, no time. You've got the money. But at the end of the year, if you don't do it, you'll still have £3 in your pocket.
Kravitz and Putievsky.
I don't know anything about that kind of business or anything.
So you don't trust me?
Sure, I trust you.
No, you think about it.
Kravitz, I can have a word with you a second?
What can I have now?
You know what I want.
Come tomorrow, I'll give it to you tomorrow.
Listen, I need it today.
Why you need it today?
Because I'm walking around, I need to eat, and I need it today.
Well, who's fault is that? You come tomorrow, I'll give it to you
Listen,
tomorrow.
I'm not asking for nothing for charity or anything. All I'm asking is for what I've worked for. You give me what I work for, and I'll be happy.
What you've worked for, I'll give you tomorrow when you come.
Listen, I need it today.
What do you need it for? If you didn't spend it on the horses, you have it.
Tomorrow, I'll be dead if I come here tomorrow.
You won't be dead. You can go round to the charities.
I don't want charity.
Tomorrow,
All I
Amiel,
want
there.
is what I have worked for.
And what have you worked for? I'll give you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I know you.
I'll always
I know
pay
you.
you
What is
tomorrow.
yours is yours, and what is mine is also yours.
I'll disgrace me them cops
I
every
shouldn't
time you
live.
come here.
I
Every
shouldn't
time.
All the
Here,
time. Everyone
do me a favour.
contract on your own.
Do me a favour.
Why shouldn't
Took the
I
stuff.
live?
Take, here.
Right, fine.
Don't come tomorrow. Do me a favour. Don't come.
Tomorrow he'll be in a better mood already. You see, he'll be fine.
Oh, gee! At last, where have you been? We've been waiting in the rain. You'll be sorry to have to go without. Now, thought you were lost. All right, Jeffrey. Fine. Wasn't yet basket. All right.
I use the word undesirable to mean not necessarily a man who has no money, but a man who is unlikely to enrich the English race.
That seems to embrace a very wide circle of the community. Is that what you really wish to say?
I do.
Have you any other suggestion to make?
I have. I would not admit any man who has deserted his wife. The crime of wife desertion is, I believe, on the increase, and therefore that is why I would require a consular certificate as to the capacity of the proposed immigrant to become a suitable citizen.
I should like, if I may, to return to the question of synagogues in prison. Now, it was your earlier suggestion that the existence of such synagogues showed the growth of the Jewish criminal population. Now, the first synagogue in a British English prison was built in the year 1872-73 in the Portsmouth convict prison through my father's influence. The Portsmouth prison is now closed, and the synagogue has been removed to Parkhurst, which has no reference whatever to immigration. There was also a synagogue at Cold Bath. This prison is no longer used, and the synagogue has been transferred to Pentonville and Wormwood Scrubs. Now, this too has nothing whatever to do with immigration. Now, I think it is important that this should be mentioned, because it has gone forth to the world. I'm not saying through any insinuation, but it has gone forth through certain remarks that Mr. White has made, that His Majesty's government has been forced to build new synagogues in prisons on account of the large number of criminals coming in with the aliens.
I never said so. And I should be obliged if Lord Rothschild would point out where I said those words, or else withdraw your statement.
I can only explain the effect your words have produced. A gentleman said to me, "A lie has gone forth to the world, you ought to contradict it." I said, probably Mr. White was misled about prisons. I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't let me.
I do not know what you mean by saying, I would not let you.
It's absolutely
Very well.
I have no further questions for this witness. Lord James of Hereford will ask them.
middle of the day. Oh, I put this down.
Take your coat off before you sit.
Oh, this fire's good. Oh, it was lovely there today. Really got
Enjoyed
quite
it?
homesick. Oh, it's beautiful. Just being in the country away from the city.
Oh, I never
I
thought
could just
St. Petersburg would
sit
be
there
like
and
that.
imagine I was back home again. Oh, it's lovely. I'm going to take my boots off if you don't mind. Eh? Thanks. Oh.
There's a pair of socks there if you want to take your socks off.
Who's are they? No, it's right. I can enjoy them quite soon.
Oh.
Oh, it's lovely.
Believe that petticoat could get so wet. What you gonna do? You planning to stay, go?
No, I've decided to go around the world a couple of times and stop off at America.
Oh, that's all. Just like that.
Just like that, and I'm quite serious.
Where are you gonna get the money from, if you don't mind me asking?
The money?
Yeah, simple.
Well, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. That's my last concern. First you make the decision, then you make your plans, and then you think of the money. Well, you've got an adventure as a brother. Well, if I see him, I'll send him in goods. Well, why didn't you come to America with me,
Tomorrow?
Well, not tomorrow, but a week, 2 weeks, a couple of months.
We just go just like that?
Yes.
Nothing, won't say anything to Yossel or Leah or...
Well, you can tell Yassel, you can tell Leanne. If we don't like it, we can come back.
What about the Workers' Club? What about the paper?
Oh, what about it? Your first responsibility is to what you want to do and what you believe in.
I don't know, it would be nice.
Was Leah?
I don't know where Leah is. I haven't seen her.
You don't know where Leah is?
No, well, she wasn't. We just came in. This is Avram Liski. This
Shalom
is
Aleichem.
my brother.
Come here, I want to talk to you.
Excuse me, Avram. We just got back from the picnic, Yossel. It was pouring with rain. Something wet. Just drying off.
What are you trying to do to me now? I've had enough of you and your crazy ideas. You should do this to me now. You bring strange men back into the house now. You think everyone isn't talking to me about you and your crazy ideas? Now you're bringing strange men back into the house. What are you trying to do? You're trying to turn my house into a clover house, are you?
You're not my father.
You're trying to turn it into a brothel?
Mother!
I'm not your father.
Your old woman.
I'm not your father. Your father's in Russia. Thank God your father isn't here. You should see you come down to this. You bring strange men in here. Are you a Yid or a Goy? Tell me.
I'm a Yid, Yossel.
Get him out of my house. Go on, get him out.
Rose, I think I'd better leave.
Get him out of my house.
Yossel, if Avram goes, then I'm going as well.
Get him out.
I'm going.
Guy!
Is this what you want,
Gay!
Yossel?
Gay doesn't hate! Get it out!
Tell me, Marcia, you still see Rosie?
No, she works all day. I work all night. I don't see her.
I mean, you still go to meetings with her?
No. Listen, it's better I don't see her. All the real Damascus, the mad idea she has. Who needs that source?
Source?
Everybody's got sorrows. Yossel with Rosie. I with Golda.
Golda? What's all this you hear from Golda? She's a good girl, kind of horror.
Yes. Good girl, but she's got funny ideas, I tell you. I don't know, it's time she got married. You know, I'd like grandchildren. This one, he's married to the business. I'll never have grandchildren with him. Golda's got funny ideas. Nobody appeals to her. Nobody's good enough for her. Yeah. How about you, Moshe? How old are you now? You know, they say when a man gets to 18 years old, he should be married already. And how old are you?
I'm over 18.
Oh.
Listen, I've got time. I need to get myself established. Make my way in the world, get a bit of money, you know.
Money? Still, you know, like back in the Heim, sometimes these things work themselves out. You know, you meet a nice girl who's got an adan, a dowry. Sometimes these things can be arranged. You know? Take my Golda, for instance. I tell you, the fellow who gets her, he'll be all right.
Doctor, you know you shouldn't spend too long here in this heat at your age.
What?
Go and have a massage.
Yeah. Yes, maybe it is getting a little too hot for me.
Do you have plans to go to America, Moish?
I've got a good job here. I think I'll see how things go here for a while. America will still be there.
You're happy working for me?
Of course I like working for you. It's a good job. Listen, I'll be honest with you, though. A man doesn't want to work for somebody else all his life.
White, my dear fellow, what a pleasant surprise.
My dear Evans Gordon, good to see you.
Well, we have our bill. What do you think of it?
Well, it's a start. I think if the political will's there to enforce it properly, it could well be a good start.
The loss of the prohibited areas was something of a personal blow. They have them in Germany, they have them in Switzerland. There's no good reason why we shouldn't have them here. All it would need would be a few score of competent policemen.
My major disappointment is the fact there's no restriction to the number of aliens who are still allowed into the country.
Indeed. And, what brings you to Westminster?
No, I'm here to see Russell, member for South Armagh. Do you know?
Is you concerning yourself with the Irish land question?
Yes, indeed. It's becoming a very interesting problem.
Take my tip, White. Stay clear of Ireland. It's the politician's graveyard.
Is that it finished, Mr. Shavinsky?
Well, I've done what I can. We have to see how strong the spirits are.
Very strong.
So you have to be patient. It might take a little time.
Can't afford to wait a long time.
Get moving. Virgil, I had a letter today from Rivka. They're coming here. I can't believe it. You know, I sent the money back to them, you know, for the fare, what I've managed to save. But it was nowhere near enough. And I never dreamt of Rivka is staying by her Aunt Gitlin, Ravarodska. Well, her aunt, it so happens, it turns out she has some money. And she's giving it to Rivka to make up the difference so I can come here.
That's wonderful.
I knew you'd be pleased. Oh, must tell Yossel as well when he comes. Oh, Basil, so pleased to see you. I must tell you, you won't believe the good news that I have today. My Rivkula and Yossela, they're coming here. They'll be here in a few days. Isn't that unbelievable?
I'm very pleased for you, Lamish.
Thank you. I hope you're not a bad influence on my Rivka with your ideas. Not that such a thing's possible.
With nothing.
What's happening here? Well, what's Macha Schreifer doing here?
She's gone. She's gone to America. That's what's happened. She's gone to America with her anarchist. I called Mrs. Shavinsky and we've poured out lead for her, but it was no good. She's gone.
Very still now. Lovely. Relax now.
Didn't expect such a big explosion then.
Why don't you have another photograph taken, just of yourself, to send to Tati Mammy in the Hain?
Another photograph?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Oh,
Now, you
God.
sit down and let me have a look at you.
We haven't got
Come on,
time.
sit down.
We're supposed to be at the party
Moisha,
by
sit down.
All right, if we're going to do it, let's do it.
No, I don't like that.
What do you mean you don't like it?
How about if he wrote home to his mother? Very, very popular. Popular pose.
What, letter?
Yeah, that's not such a bad idea. A letter home to Mammy.
So who's got time for letters? We're supposed to be... Labish and his wife will be waiting for us. I said we'd be there by now.
Listen, Labish's wife has just come over from Galicia. Do you think she's going to go back in 5 minutes? What's the matter with you?
Here we are. That's the
What's
letter.
this?
Just put the letter down on the table and we'll take the picture.
This is in English.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
You can't send this. She won't understand a word of it.
It's just for the photograph.
Golden,
Don't
do me
worry
a favour.
about
He
it.
knows
It's
what he's
okay.
doing. If he says it's all right like that, it'll be all right.
I've done
Give me
this
the letter.
before,
Come on,
okay.
let's do it. Tell him how to do his job.
I'm not telling him how to do his job, Moisha. I'm just asking.
He knows what he's doing. Well, what do I have to do?
Just hold the pen. So you're writing home to your mother.
Right here?
Fine, that's it, yes. Just look at the camera.
So I look up.
That's right, yes.
All right.
Fine.
Good.
Good.
What's wrong now?
It's the suit. You should be wearing a dark suit.
The dark suit's being made.
The dark suit's being made. The dark suit should have been made for your engagement, for our engagement.
He said it'll be ready for the wedding.
Yeah, well,
it'll
it should
be
have
ready.
been ready now. Some tailor you've got, some friend of yours. Let me have a look at you. Stop frowning, Moisha.
I'm not frowning.
Come to the camera. Thank you.
Very nice.
Lovely.
Very nice.
Very good.
No, this man's name's Mendelssohn. He's come to meet his wife and son.
Tell him to wait over there.
Zet zich af, hè.
Dat de water is zo lang. Dat is in de hope they had a good journey. You know, when I came here, I was sick as a dog. Oh, it was terrible.
Listen, they're here already. It doesn't matter if they had a good journey or a bad journey.
Yeah, and you know, enough for Yossel is making a party tonight for Rivka. Yeah, for the arrival.
Oh,
That's
lovely.
nice. I mean, you'll be there, of course.
Well, I can come.
Yeah, I thought you knew about it. You didn't ask you. Well, I'm asking you, of course.
There'll be some food there?
Yes, I know she bought a herring.
Oh, then I'll definitely come.
Mind you, I don't know what stage Rivka will be in Yossel. But still, you know, from the journey and the party the same night, I couldn't say.
Got a stick of tobacco?
Yeah. Have a whole one. It's a simcha.
Thank you.
I think.
No?
Yeah. It's like waiting for Mashiach, for the Messiah to come.
Ah, it's Mr. Somper from the show.
Yes, I remember.
You know?
Still.
Looks like somebody's got Saurus there.
I wonder what's the matter.
You know, these days they don't let people in so easily.
Really?
Yeah. Ah, with the regulations and the rules and everything, they don't want to.
Do you think that's happened there?
So it's nice to have the whole family here. Yes. It's a pity Rosie couldn't be here. Yeah. Still, she's gone to America. Oh, no.
America.
It's very adventurous for a girl to go off like that to America. She'll maybe find a nice young man in America. She can,
Yes.
she might do good things out there. I hear you can make a good life for yourself in America.
I made it at last.
I'm sorry.
Miss Lavish.
Mazel tov, mazel tov.
You got here before?
Oh, you're looking very well.
I was
Sit down, Golden.
Rush from the photographer's thinking of beer by now.
Sit down, that's right. Yes, come on now.
So how did it go down there?
Yes, you have to go now.
Oh, the photographers?
Yes.
We had 2 pictures.
Yeah.
We had one of Moisha on his own.
That's Centre de Heim, you know, and the one the two of us.
Happy couple.
All the way through.
Go, Frau.
You're gonna give her a go.
Stand still.
Listen, a lot of things can go wrong.
Who's this? Yes, you've come to see me. Look at this. Look at the careful she's having here. I love one day we'll have a lily like this.
They want children already. They're not even married.
I got a young lady.
There. Look.
Can't pull my beard.
It's a lovely spread you got here, Lear.
Oh, thank you.
You've been busy, eh?
No, I'll do my best.
Can I help you at all?
No, it's all right. Everything's all right.
He's not even looking up.
I told you he won't.
They're not letting him in. Bei Shell Island. Ist der ranzulassene Wart mit einem Kind? So was habe ich die Jungen gearbeitet? Bist nicht besser wie der Bekommen, der Gesacken. Mit denen 100 Munds. Schwarz Jahre wegen! Der Schwarz Jahre! Der Schatz der Bediener!
Schrei nicht, Leibisch! Leibisch, schrei nicht!
In Tränen könnt ihr liegen, das zweite Intro! Jeden Zeit in deren Dumme wird ihr liegen! Ich dachte, du musst eine Warte warten! Buch auf deine Fixe! Mein Engel.
L'chaim.
Chaim.
L'chaim. L'chaim, Golda. Good wine.
Michael.
Come on, everybody, eat, eat.
Would you like up the line?
Oh,
Use these plates, Leah?
yes, help yourselves.
How to Dolly? Talking to you. How to Dolly? You want a crust?
Sure.
Yeah. Don't just
Don't like it?
So you have some bread?
That is nice.
Help yourself, Moisha.
Oh, I'm helping, don't worry. Nice herring.
Chaim.
This is good bread, Moisha.
Come and sit on Daddy's lap. Have a sip of wine.
Giving them wine now,
Alton, you want the crust,
Right now, would
Dolly?
you like a drop? No, you don't want a drop of wine.
Little herring?
I sing a little song.
Careful he doesn't get shook of that.
Listen, we should all be careful. We've got some work to do this evening.
Oh, that's
I never get
Oh,
sugar.
you're working too hard.
My father said to me, always drink with friends. You never get sugar.
I've drunk with friends and I've got sugar.
You would.
Everybody.
Bow wow. Bow wow. Daddy wouldn't buy me a bow wow, bow wow. I've got a little cat and I'm very fond of that. But I'd rather have a bow wow, 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 wow. Daddy wouldn't buy me a bow wow. Bow wow, Daddy wouldn't buy me a bow wow, bow wow. I've got a little cat and I'm very fond of that, but I'd rather have a bow wow wow.
It's always Yidden in Warsaw. Always has been. Just like that. There'll always be a Litvak in Lithuania, a yeshiva in Belz. There'll always be a Yid in Warsaw also. Here, who knows? Here, I'm fighting for the people here. What will happen to a place like London? I don't know, it's wicked in London. For was brennt's denn nicht? I don't know. How can a place like that stand? And in America's noch egger. It's even worse, I've heard. Some golden in Medina. Fish stinking in Medina. Bad places. Warsaw, we both understand some Polish. Could be worse. There, Kolchak, when someone talks to us, even a Yidden finds an anti-Semit, so we'll know what he's saying. we can answer him. Who knows? Who understands? It's God's will. That's how we must accept it. What else can it be? It's the Almighty. He's giving us a sign that this isn't for us. We have to go back. Back where the Eden have always waited until Mashiach comes. Then, please God, Lavar will all be in Eretz Yisrael. That's what we must wait for.
7 Hemder mit die Becher, 3 mit Lattes, 4 mit Lecher. Mein Reben ist gewesen, Geneve. Mein Reben ist gewesen, mein Reben ist gewesen, Geneve. 7 Hemder mit die Becher, 3 mit Lattes, 4 mit Lecher. Mein Reben ist gewesen, Geneve. In dem Beis Hamikdash, in a Winkel Cheder, sitzt die Almone Bastien allein. Ihr ben Jochidel Yidalen, wiegt sie Keseder, und singt dem zum Schlafen a Liedele schein. Und der Idales Wiegale steht a glorweiß Ziegale. Das Ziegale ist gefahren handeln. Das wird sein dein Beruf. Rojinkes mit Mandeln. Schlaf, Idale, schlaf. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Schlaf, Idale, schlaf.
Hi, dear.
In dem Beis Hamikdash, in a Winkel Cheder, sitzt die Almone Bastien allein. Ihr ben Jochidel Yidalen, wiegt sie Keseder, und singt dem zum Schlafen a Liedale schein. Und der Idales Wiegale steht a glorweiß Ziegale. Das Ziegale ist gefahren handeln. Das wird sein dein Beruf. Rojinkes mit Mandeln. Schlaf, Idale, schlaf. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Schlaf, Idale.